पॉडकास्ट क्या होता है? लोग आमने सामने बैठ के एक दूसरे को क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, उसको पॉडकास्ट नहीं बोलते हैं। पॉडकास्ट वो होता है जो आज मैं आपको बताने वाला हूं। 3 लोग, मैं, मेरे 2 गेस्ट मिस्टर गुलाम जिया एंड अभिषेक गुप्ता।
800 करोड़ का अपार्टमेंट बिकता है तो सारी दुनिया बात करती है, लेकिन 50 लाख के जब 20,000 अपार्टमेंट बिकते हैं तो कोई सवाल भी नहीं उठाता।
So India has become unaffordable. घर खरीदना किसी की बस की बात नहीं है. That's just spoiling sentiments of the country. I don't know who's pitching this narrative.
Mumbai is supposed to be most unaffordable city. Everybody says so. Do you know below 50 lakh apartments sold in Mumbai is the highest compared to all the other six top cities of the country?
Where? But I genuinely believe that real estate should be regulated. क्योंकि वो जो average हिंदुस्तानी जब एक ही घर खरीदता है जिंदगी में तो उसको प्रोटेक्शन चाहिए. Where is the way it is implemented in Maharashtra is not the way it is implemented in the rest of the country. After America, China, हम तीसरे ही हैं, which is going to touch 1,000,000,000 square feet of office space. That's not a joke.
ये पॉडकास्ट इतना मजेदार था और होपफुली आपको भी उतना मजेदार लगे। पॉपकॉर्न और आपका फेवरेट ड्रिंक साथ में रखिए और ये पॉडकास्ट देखिए जहां आपको रियल एस्टेट के बारे में पता चलेगा जो लोग दूसरे बात नहीं करते हैं। आज हम वही सब चीज बात करेंगे।
Our real estate has cycles, correct? I want any one of you all to explain briefly what is a real estate cycle and how long does the real estate cycle run through. It's something which a lot of people ask me regularly whenever I'm on the middle of the street at dinner tables. They keep on asking me, Ravi, yeah, market ka kya scenario hai? And I think the two of you all are in the best position to answer this. Gulam, you've seen markets rise, fall, plateau, and surge. From your perspective, from your lens, what does the mood feel like today on the ground? The first question is real estate cycle. Which one would you like to take the question?
Okay, I'll start first.
Okay.
So before I answer, where are we on the cycle and how long does a typical cycle take? I want to cite Mr. Jhunjhunwala first. Ki Hindustan is rocking and we are definitely growing. Every industry has to go through cycles. The stock market also does. But the trajectory is this way only. Right? So let's agree on that first. That as a country, we are rocking. Property cycles have got multiple variables, but typically it should at least go on for 5 to 7 years because it's a cat and mouse game. Demand, supply, and then there are other variables also. There can be interest rate, there can be jobs, various other things. But the major thing is demand and supply. Today we are in a scenario for housing where supply is ahead of demand, and we are in a scenario where there will be price war. So if you are a buyer and you're not, doesn't have too many nakhras, okay, मुझे मेरा वाला green, मुझे ऐसा ही चाहिए. If you're not that kind of a home buyer, then you can wait.
Okay.
But if you have all the nakhras in the world, parking has to be this, floor has to be this, view has to be this, size has to be this, budget has to be that, please buy a house today. क्योंकि personal घर नहीं मिलेगा. The choicest houses go away first.
Okay.
So I hope that's on the housing front. The minute you go to other assets, which could be warehousing, the cycle is just beginning.
Okay.
We're going to make so many warehouses in India that you can't even imagine. Because you can make them in 6 months. You make them in 7 months. Right? And all the delicious machi and the pav bhaji that comes at 1 o'clock at night, where do they come from? Yeah, these are dark stores, warehouses. The third is office. We are only the third largest economy in the world, which is just touching 1 billion square feet of office. I'm going to repeat that again. After America, China, हम तीसरे ही हैं, which is going to touch 1,000,000,000 square feet of office space. That's not a joke. Right? बाकी तो मतलब वो होता ना, Roger Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, बाकी नीचे, nobody cares. वैसा है बाकी. So then what cycle? Offices, मतलब 4 trillion economy, we touch 10 in 20 years by the time we reach independence ka 100 saal. So then it's going to rock only. But we'll talk about more offices as we progress in terms of the hybrid and the co-working. It's a lot of exciting stuff happening in India. But if you are a home buyer, you're in for a party. next 5 years.
But you also mentioned that in the home supply, we have more supply and less demand. That's what you said, right?
There are more launches happening.
So are we technically in an oversupply stage?
Yeah. But demand कम नहीं हुआ है. See, what happens is when I say this, some people are demand डूब गया. Demand is there. It's just that you're making more homes of a certain price, which there will be a price war. So don't expect. So all the investors who are clients of ours, we tell them that please make sure that there is a 0% escalation in your spreadsheet. If this investment still makes sense, then do it.
There is 0% escalation
in price.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Explain this to me. What do you mean by 0% escalation?
मतलब घर के प्राइस नहीं बढ़ेंगे नेक्स्ट 5 साल.
ऐसे कैसे रहेंगे?
See,
आज अगर तो फिर सर कोई इन्वेस्ट क्यों करेगा? अगर आज रियल एस्टेट
घर में तो इन्वेस्ट करना भी नहीं चाहिए.
अच्छा
You should not buy a house to invest. You should only buy a house to stay.
सेल्फ कंजम्पशन
110%. And if you take loan लेके तो मैं जूते मारूंगा.
अच्छा
मतलब बीवी तो मारेगी, मैं भी मारूंगा.
अच्छा
If you leverage and invest, right? In the metro cities, we'll have to worry about the smaller cities later. So वो तो लेना ही नहीं चाहिए. मतलब why would we buy a house to invest?
Mrs. Zia, what is your take on the current market scenario in the real estate cycle? And specifically, like I mentioned, you've seen the markets rise, fall, plateau, and surge. What does the current mood feel like today?
Bhai, am I allowed to digress or rather compete or contest what I just heard?
Yeah. Arey, this is an open, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Debate.
Okay. So let's start with cycle. First of all, we typically say property cycle is like a property clock. You know, if you can imagine a clock, where are you? 3 o'clock position, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. The low clock is where we peak out when, as we are saying, then from there you will come down, etc. Typically, what we have seen thus far, a cycle runs about 10 odd years, not 5, 6. And different states may have different, or different cities may have different clocks. Because I recall somewhere in immediately after global financial crisis, that was 2007-8, Delhi started falling and started falling badly. For a long time, Delhi kept on on a downward trend. And even now, it is still nursing its wounds, where it started falling somewhere in 2007-8. So that period is that long. Some blips in between may come, but then when you talk about period, you have to normalize or discount those blips. So different cities would have different cycles, as they say. Now, where are we on that cycle? Again, if you're talking about Mumbai, and this is where, I would start digressing from whatever we were listening earlier.
Contrasting view.
Yes, and that is, when we talk about, say, a city like Mumbai where we are sitting, in a city like this, this is a city which has always been, the demand has always been there. I haven't seen, like, the fall of Delhi, when it was 2006 or so, they were selling 106, 110,000 apartments in a year. Whereas Mumbai was less than 1 lakh. Mumbai has never crossed 1 lakh apartment in a year. And then from there, lo and behold, when the fall came, it came down next year to less than 23, 24,000. That big a crash did Delhi experience. And it continued. As I said, even today, Delhi is about 60, 70,000 odd units in a year. So, and Mumbai, from that 90s, 96, etc., came to 50, 55. So the fall in Mumbai was not as drastic as what we see in the other big market of the country, which is Delhi. And today, Mumbai is touching 1 lakh, 96, 97,000 again. And Delhi is nowhere in sight. In fact, cities like Bangalore and even Pune this year is about to touch that 655, 60,000 units in a year kind of a mark. So
These are sorry to cut you. These are sales or these are
primary sales. The developer selling in a
primary.
Let's also understand there are two kinds of transaction. You buy from Mr. Developer ABC, then it's a primary transaction. Then you sell it to Abhishek, it's a secondary transaction. Resale. So we are talking primary transaction. Developers selling their wares in the market are the numbers we are quoting. So Mumbai, even today, when we are talking about, and this is something where the discussion starts getting spicier. last 3 months or 4, I have been watching people talking or writing off Mumbai as gone case, and things are falling apart, etc. But month on month, we are watching the number of transactions that are registered, and those numbers are almost the same as the same month last year. 12,000 odd apartments selling every month on registration, which is a mix of primary and secondary both. So when I talk about registration data, it has both included primary and secondary sales. So 12,000 even in July, which was a similar number last July 2024 and 25 as well. So my question to all these guys who are in a rush to declare Mumbai as dead is, where is the data coming from? Let's wait a little while. Let's look at some more data to corroborate what registration numbers are talking about. And then again, when we are hearing about, inventory, you have to also look at how long will it take to sell that inventory off. Okay, let me try to explain. Suppose tomorrow onwards, nobody is launching any product, any apartment. How long will it take for whatever is there in the market to be sold off is the question. Very important question which all of us must look at.
Correct.
The reason of that is simple. When we are then looking at the inventory today and looking at the velocity of sale, month on month or quarter on quarter, we typically track last 10 quarters rolling averages. Rolling averages have lots of importance in statistics. So when I'm talking about rolling averages of last 10 years, the inventory existing in the market would not take more than 9 quarters to be sold, which is 2 years. On the other side, a developer knows that at least 4 साल तो लगेगा बिल्डिंग बनाने के लिए.
Correct.
तो आप बनाओगे 4 साल में, बेचोगे 2 साल में. कहाँ है स्लो डाउन बाबा? Somebody tell me, when people are talking from the rooftop that Mumbai is going to see a huge supply, inventory overhang, all jargons, look at velocity of sale and come back and tell me where. Yes, then I will qualify. There is a certain segment. We have done this analysis every segment wise. We have been watching, up to 1 crore, 1 to 2 crore, 2 to 5 crore, 5 to 10 crore, 10 to 20, 20 to 50, 50 and above. There's only one segment. 20 to 50 crore is one segment where the velocity of sales are such that you will take 4.5 to 5 odd years to sell. So that's the only segment where there is a little amount of stress. The other segment, all 2 से 2.5 साल में जो कल बिल्डिंग बनाना बंद, न्यू लॉन्चेस बंद करो, 2.5 साल के अंदर सारा माल साफ, सुपड़ा साफ. So where do we see slowdown? So this is what numbers are talking about. I would say wait, 2-3 quarter और देख लो, because every month on month the kind of sales that we are experiencing is defying all that going on in the market, that Mumbai is on a peak, slowdown, price stabilization and whole lot of things. Of course, you always have, I believe that media plays a big role in defining sentiments, and people always end up telling you that buying house is more than anything else, it's sentiment. But sentiments are built or broken by people, not you. So one thing which I fully agree with him, I also would never buy a house for investment. Never. It never pays off. It's a punt. जुआ खेलना है यार, लास वेगास चले जाओ, रियल एस्टेट में क्यों घुस रहे हो? There are better ways to burn your money than buy a house and wait for it to really give you 2x, 3x and 4x. It happens. Well, today people are talking about in last 3 years the prices have gone 2x. But the same people are not telling you that prior to that 7 years the prices didn't move, it was negative. So when I'm looking at 11 or 12 odd years of a price rise, it is not even 7% or 6.5% per annum, which is just related to inflation. 100-200 bips inflation के आगे पीछे क्यों कर रहे हो investment, such an illiquid asset? So keep away from it. Unless you are a punter, you want to buy here today and sell tomorrow in next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, you may do that. But there's a big risk. So for those who want to buy apartments for investment or to see a price rise, well, punting करना है करो, जुआ खेलो, सकता है, मटका है, लगा तो तीर नहीं तो तुक्का, लेकिन जब ये तुक्का लगता है तो भारी अच्छों की हाथ में आ जाती है. So I would say be cautious. I have always been telling people not to punt on real estate, housing especially. Very dangerous. People have burned their fingers. Again, look, why are we talking about it today? Because we are at the right time. The better times of the industry are right now going on. And here, everybody is talking about the gains and the eulogizing real estate, housing खरीदो, double हो गया. Double 12 साल में हुआ है भाई. 12 साल में double होके क्या ले लिया आपने, क्या उखाड़ लिया? उसी में अगर आपने if you would have invested in other asset classes, and I'm not promoting any, you would have done double digits. यहाँ पे आपका barely 5-6% रिटर्न आ रहा है, क्या कमाल कर दिया. So in long term, real estate is not a good asset class to buy. Housing, and again I differ from where Abhishek stands. Warehousing is in a problem state right now. We are talking a lot of those chest thumping statements, country, economy, growth and stuff. But on the other side, all those dark stores, etc., you're talking about are just the center city warehousing. Every real estate player or all those warehousing players who have put in money over there are bleeding. They are in dire straits because they have bought real estate all over in boondocks, in back of beyond. 100 acre, 200 acre is an average size what every warehousing player has bought in 25 different odd locations. And then now they're sitting with it and wondering what to do with it. The warehouses which are catering to your 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock midnight meal are in the center of the city. The kitchens, the whatever, all that is something in the center of the city. It's not coming from Panvel or Bhiwandi or some godforsaken place like that. But the warehousing players have acquired huge tracts of land in these locations. And that's where the rents have not gone up. For last 2 consecutive years, the rents of warehousing are plateaued, are not increasing. And that's a big worry for warehousing players. So if you look at warehousing industry itself, none of them, if you talk to them in private, are happy with where they are. But office, I fully agree. Office sector is right now going bonkers. That 1 billion mark we are talking about, almost there. But that 1 billion, again, he spoke about US. US has 10.6 billion, right? China has 6.5 billion. And there's a third person before third country before India, which is Japan, about 1.6, 1.7 odd billion. India is just about touching a billion. Do you know in America the vacancies, because post COVID, etc., your work from home was a big shift in America, as they still haven't come back. Almost 30-35% of vacancies we have in America. That is 3 times the inventory that we have in India is the vacancy in America.
So in America, everything is 10x of whatever is India. That is all across the board in everything that you do. I was gonna ask the question when we were at when Mr. Abhishek mentioned, Gupta ji mentioned, so मैं बोलने वाला था, what are the other numbers that you're there? You anyways pointed forward.
A few more. So number 5 पे Germany है about 650 odd million. Then France again at 500 odd is UK. So Europe is pretty small in those numbers when you're looking at individual countries. So in the top 10, of course, India has reached, is already there on the 4th position, and on the 5th is too much of a difference between 4th and 5th.
Okay.
So we as here I fully agree that office spaces, we have a long way to go, because comparing the GDP size, if China is about 6 times of 5 to 6 times of where we are, and they are at 6 odd billion, 6.5 billion China is. So I believe that as we are growing alongside the economy, my office transactions would continue to grow. So the next billion, we are making an estimate by 2032 or 33, another 8, I won't say more than 8 to 10 years, we shall see another 1 billion. For this 1 billion, we have traveled about 25-30 odd years. The next billion would be in less than 10 years.
That's brilliant. Okay, now I'm going to take you guys to a global scenario. This is a question which has been there in my mind. World is shifting fast. There are wars happening. Suddenly you wake up in the morning and you realize, oh my God, ye kya ho raha hai idhar? The US is restructuring tariffs. Every day we keep on hearing about this. Europe is redefining its energy policies. And China's going through an absolute different phase when it comes to their economy. Abhishek, you have advised global funds. Do these geopolitical shifts have a direct impact on Indian real estate? Or are we still largely a domestic demand story? And for you, Gulam, when foreign investors look at India now, do they see resilience or do they see risk? What's been the scenario in the last 2 to 3 years and going forward? Let's start with you first.
I'll go first. Okay. Sorry, if China does something stupid, I don't think India cares. Yes, if US does something like you spoke about tariffs, I think it'll impact some part of the industry for sure. How long, we'll have to see, right? Because currently they are also figuring out what they need to do, and they're also changing their stand every week or so. But coming to different sectors, I think like the stock market, and I often try to correlate the two because that's where the real money of India is. In the stock market, today, 35,000 crores of SIP monthly.
35,000 crores.
Crores.
Monthly.
हाँ, तो पहले जब अमेरिका छिकता था तो हमको सर्दी होती थी. We used to say this 10 years back. Because if the FIIs pulled out money in the month of December, or when the Fed would decide to cut interest rates, India's stock market would fall by 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 points. Right? That's no longer true because there's a lot of domestic investments happening. Another funny example, if I may give, if the Britishers and the Russians decide to not come to Goa, Goa would collapse. But now that's not true because a lot of Indians are going there. Same way, the warehousing industry will have no impact on war hone do, doesn't matter. Retail will have no impact क्योंकि हमारा खुद का 140 करोड़ लोग रहते कहाँ हैं? अमेरिका में रहते, रशिया में रहते, ब्रिटेन में रहते कि हमारे यहाँ रहते हैं? So I don't care. Housing demand will always stay. The problem of housing is us. When developers make homes for themselves, not for Indians. And I say this to my developer friends all the time. Right? Don't make homes for yourself. Make for the Indians. So, of course, the globe is a single country now. Right? There's globalization happening. Wahan kuch hua to there will be an impact. But I think that impacts, the cushioning that India has now has become better and we have become a little more independent. And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि the अमिताभ बच्चन song fits in here. घुंघरू वाला गाना जो है कि अपने पैरों पे हम खड़े हो गए हैं अभी. Yes, there will be dependency, but I think we are still far cushioned now.
So the impact is not going to be as much only if, and that is only concerning to the US.
The GCC will make the GCC will make a difference because they still own or occupy 40-50% of offices in India.
Okay.
But it used to be 60-70% earlier. Right? मैं वही बोलना चाह रहा हूँ. That dependency has started reducing क्योंकि हम अपने पैरों पे खड़े हो गए हैं अभी. And it will only improve as we move forward.
Okay. Ghulam Sahab.
I'm sorry, I was so engrossed in his discourse that I forgot my question.
No problem. I will repeat it. When foreign investors look at India now, okay, this is considering the global impact of wars, what is happening right now, the restructuring of the tariffs by the US and Europe with its new energy policies, with the China's market, a lot of people talk about it being slowed down. When foreign investors look at India now, do they see resilience or do they see a risk? What has been the defining factor on that mind frame in the previous 2 years, 3 years, and what do you think is going to be the mind frame going forward?
Okay, first of all, the foreign capital that we're talking about has always treated India with some amount of discontent. I recall the reason is simple. About 20 years back, 2005, when S-Note 2 came, when FDI was opened up, most of them burned their fingers, lost their shirt, etc., and had to retract and go back from India because India was not a great market at that time. Even today, while we have put our house in order with GST coming, with RERA, and a lot of those positive changes have come about, however, still those memories are still here to haunt. And in the middle of all that, a few of smart foreign investors have made good money here. And I'm right now focusing on real estate. If I expand, talk about stock exchange, etc., in stock exchange, most of them have made money, but in real estate, most of them have lost money. So that difference has always been, looming large behind every investor's entry into India, especially real estate. And like this morning, when I was sitting with one of the most celebrated fund manager of the country, the biggest of them, who didn't burn his fingers but did really good, the biggest one in the country. In his words, India is so beautiful when you are 50,000 feet height. Then you come down to 5,000 and you realize, where are you? And then you land up and you don't even know where you are. So this is someone who's made money is talking about the risk that is associated with this country. So given a chance, and if you look at the portfolio of all these big players, they're still hugely invested in Far East, in Japan's, in most of these European countries, depending upon, their product and where they want to invest, investment thesis, etc. India is, perhaps top 6, 7, maybe nahi aa pata. And the reason is, again, we have a long way to go from both sides. So first, clean up the bad memories, your nightmares that you have had in around the global financial crisis days, and focusing real estate alone. When I'm talking about the nightmares, it's real estate. Real estate has been a nightmare for the foreign players. Today, with REITs, etc., opening up, you have more credible way of entering into it. But again, when you talk about construction, not just real estate, slight expansion, construction, you get into, say, infrastructure, there's a big resistance even to get in infrastructure, because construction of infrastructure is a big risk for a lot of reasons, permissions, approvals, ecosystems, and a lot of things take a lot of time. So investment assets are those where they're getting returns today. So most of these funds are buying even infrastructure pieces like roads, etc., where the toll is happening today. But if they have to invest in a road which is going to be on the blueprint and master plan now, and say after 6 years you will get your first toll revenue coming your way, they will not get for next 10 years. So that comfort is still elusive. So overall, since we are talking funds, say whether it is construction industry, which includes real estate as well as infrastructure, there is still a long way to clean our house, to put our house in order. Long way. But overall, again, if I go on a broad-based, broader economy, they have made huge amount of money in stock exchanges. So they are all here, but they are watching from the wayside, from the fringes, how real estate is performing, and gradually they are coming in or leaving. Touch and go. अंदाजा होता है कुछ गड़बड़ है तो भाग लो.
So, ठीक है. यानी cautious है. माइंड फ्रेम ये जो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स का है उनका माइंड फ्रेम इज कॉशियस द सिनेरियो फॉर देम द क्लाइमेट व्हाट इज दैट वर्ड they have to make it conducive. The environment is to be conducive for them to invest if they want to come into real estate at this point of time, and right now it is not.
Yes, and again, one more thing which most of them are afraid of is this enthusiasm that we have.
Enthusiasm?
Yes.
What enthusiasm?
Whenever we are talking about it, we don't need anybody, we are good by ourselves, this and that. These talks are scary. If you're saying you're self-sufficient, why would anybody come from abroad? So this is where it is. They come with a lot of skepticism the moment you start chest beating and say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm top, I'm falana, thikana. They are on a back foot. Let's stop. Let's be realistic. We're talking about a decently growing economy, but then it has its own drawbacks and stuff. Let's talk about the whole picture. Don't just paint a very rosy picture is where the problem is.
Okay. The next question is human connections.
Acha.
Human questions that connect. Okay. Chalo. And I want each one of you guys to answer. Both of you to answer this. What's a real estate myth you wish more people stopped believing?
What's a real estate myth that people should stop believing? Oh, I have a great one. All my study life and the early real estate years, it was all about location. Abhi bakwas band karo. Now it is about, to my mind, location is important. I'm not taking it completely away, but it's product. If your product is not relevant, the best location you can screw up. You need to stop talking location. Abhi, that's my favorite.
तो रियल एस्टेट का मंत्रा लोकेशन से बदल के प्रोडक्ट होना चाहिए.
अभी वो इतने साल उन्हें लोकेशन बोला, इसलिए I'm saying product. Otherwise it could be location, product and something else.
Okay.
Just for the sake of क्या बोलते हैं?
Arguments. ठीक है.
वो बहुत मजा कर दिया उन्होंने लोकेशन.
ठीक है. Sir, What is a real estate myth besides buy versus rent?
The biggest myth to me is that you make money on real estate.
Okay. You don't make money on real estate. Okay.
And I'm talking about as an end user. Huh? Developers do.
Let's clear this up. Let's clear this up, sir.
They make a lot of money
Huh.
at your expense.
Huh.
But you, as an end user, don't have much. You know, because they have already squeezed the last drop out of that fruit. जो आपके पास आता है वो सिर्फ फूस होता है गन्ने का जो 25 बार रगड़ के उसका जूस निकल गया है
Bottom of the barrel.
या और दूसरी तरफ का गन्ने का फूस आपके पास आया है आप ये मत समझो कि कल इसमें से जूस निकलेगा निकला तो आप बहुत बड़े तोप हो
Kismat. One thing you learned from failure that shaped how you operate today.
Baapre. Do I have time to think? I don't know.
8 बजे तक है सर आपको ही जाना है 8 बजे के बाद
मैं कह दूं बीच में सेम
Yeah, you sure? Yeah, you used to go.
आप चालू करो
भाई ऐसा है कि हम 33 इयर्स ऑफ रियल एस्टेट यहाँ हमने फेलियर ज़्यादा देखे हैं सक्सेस शायद 2-4 साल में एक आध बार आती होगी तो इतना कुछ सीखा है इफ़ योर क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट डिड आई लर्न फ्रॉम फेलियर्स दैट द नेक्स्ट फेलियर इज नॉट टू फार ऑफ
Alright.
दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव लर्न
So consistency in failure.
Hmm. I don't want to make it a sexist remark, but I think so. We have more women workers in our office. Not that I'm saying that I won't hire men, but I think it's a very ridiculous statement that people make that women gossip more than men. I think the contrary is true. And which is why we've learned that we will hire more women in our office than men. Because men gossip all the time. They gossip over smoking, they gossip over daru, and they gossip about everything. Women ka gossip content and time is much lesser. So that's why
दारू अलाउ करते ऑफिस में
most office hours we gossip karte rehte. So I don't know whether this is
Yeah,
answering your question directly or not, but we genuinely didn't have a great, I mean, I won't say great experience hiring men. I don't want to make a sexist remark. That's what I said in the beginning. But yeah.
It's okay. It's not sexist when it's against men.
As a man you can say that as a lady it would hurt
No, it's वो अलग ही कहानी है उसके लिए अलग पॉडकास्ट करेंगे हम लोग.
exactly
Which city do you think will surprise all of us in the next 10 years?
Mumbai
Surprise in what way?
it's a city in the making जिस तरह का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जिस तरह का काम इस शहर में हो रहा है yes we are crying today because huge amount of efforts wasted etc and also frustration कई बार हम ये कहते हैं कि शायद ये सारे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट्स मेरा बेटा एंजॉय करेगा मैं शायद ना देख पाऊँ लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी जब आज मैं अंधेरी से जोगेश्वरी से निकलता हूँ और एक्सप्रेस स्टार मुझे दिखाता है 1 घंटा 25 मिनट आई एम इन हेवन I am in heaven, be the same distance I recall traveling 2.5 hours. You know, so today when I enter BK, the Bandra cross हो गया, उसके बाद में we are in heaven. And it is extending 2027, चलो 28, वर्सवा तक भी आ जाएगा कोस्टल रोड 29-30 आप विरार तक पहुंच जाओगे. So imagine that life आप विरार में काम रहते हो और विरार से आप नरीमन पॉइंट पहुंचोगे 1 घंटे में. Life is going to be heaven. This is the Mumbai which I dream of, and that dream is turning into reality soon. I'm confident that I will enjoy it for enough part of my life, not just my kids.
Okay. I'm going to show you a video off camera.
My turn.
Yes, sir. Please.
So yes, I've also been a Bombay boy, and I think Bombay is definitely transforming. But my favorite city would be Ahmedabad. Mine is the Daru.
Minus the Daru. Okay.
That's the one thing I hate about Ahmedabad.
Why Ahmedabad?
Like he said, infra Bombay में आ रहा है अभी 100 साल बाद. It should have happened 100 years back. Ahmedabad is probably one unique city in the country where infra is ahead of its development. And it's still growing, right? And I'll be able to reach Ahmedabad faster than Borivali.
Really?
2 hours once the bullet train is ready. So like how, and one expressway changed the fate of Pune. Pune was always there. Pune always had universities. Pune always had the great weather. But one expressway changed Pune. That one bullet train will change Ahmedabad. And many other things. So I would have loved to say Bombay. I'm a Bombay boy. But Ahmedabad is my next 10-year city.
Okay. Future gazing. That's what have been prompted to me. Let's fast forward to 2040. San 2040. What do Indian cities look like? क्या लगता है आपको? More vertical, spread out, digital, chaotic? क्या लगता है 2040 में हमारे भारत के देश का जो शहर है, what is going to be the scenario with it?
Bapre. There are too many things you've said. First was what? Horizontal or vertical?
Yeah, we're gonna go up or we're gonna go like this. Then what do you think is gonna be a digital chaos, a normal chaos, human chaos? What do you think is gonna be the new norm in 2040?
So I don't know how to answer this question, but I'm trying. एक कहता ना कि this is what I wish. क्योंकि I'm an Indian, तो I hope ऐसा हो. और हो सकता है one is like when you apply logic कि शायद ऐसा होगा. So I don't know. I'm trying to do.
दोनों बोलो सर, दोनों बोल दो.
So I always liked Hong Kong more than Singapore because I thought Hong Kong had character because of the chaos. Singapore is just too perfect, and which is why I don't even like Switzerland. Too manicured, perfect hair, perfect everything. So I hope the chaos stays because we are used to that. मतलब वो character चले जाएगा अगर chaos नहीं रहा तो. So I hope that stays. Digital तो मैं कुछ बोल के फायदा ही नहीं because we are the most digital, not country, but citizens of the world. तो वो तो होने ही वाला है. We will only get better and better and better, right? So I hope that's covered. अब बचा vertical and horizontal. I hope the residential part becomes more horizontal. Offices can touch the moon. I have no problem with that. On the contrary, I would want that. If Khalifa got built and now Jeddah wants to make something even taller, तो हम भी बना सकते हैं. I'm okay with offices going vertical, but I hope residential stays low. Not trying to go in the seismic side. We're not that big a seismic country. But yeah, I like to stay close to earth. Than staying on Khandala on the 100th floor.
ठीक है.
Same question?
Unless you don't want to answer it.
I think he's covered it. I have a few views on housing, and while he has covered it a little, but to my dismay, the current housing is a big mess. It's very difficult to distinguish office buildings from residential today. All those high rises, complete glass facade. Glass facade is a disaster. It's a curse to our country. India is not made to have glass facade buildings. You did glass facade buildings in places where there was very little sunlight. You wanted to capture every last of the sunlight into your building. So you had glass facades. But in India, just to ape what the Western world is doing, we ended up doing all glass facade building. And unfortunately, it's seeping into residential as well. So our residential buildings have lost character. एक वक्त था जब हम लोग बैल्कनी की बात करते थे तो वो कारपेट एरिया, सुपर बिल्टअप एरिया, बिल्डर्स ने तो वाट लगा दिया बैल्कनीज की. उसके बाद में फिर थोड़े टाइम में थोड़ी बैल्कनीज बनी, फिर से ये जो फंजिबल टेंजिबल ये सब आया, फिर से बैल्कनीज की वाट लग गई. सो वी आर एक्चुअली नाउ प्रमोटिंग अ फ्लैट, नीचे से ऊपर तक 70 माला, नीचे से ऊपर तक एक जैसी दिखने वाली बिल्डिंग. एंड दैट्स अ डिजास्टर. एंड आई एम अफ्रेड दिस इज गोइंग टू स्प्रेड. I don't know what will change the mindset of our both developers as well as buyers, because unfortunately buyers are also so infatuated with that, New York type building. Bigger problem is even Middle East. He spoke about, which country or which city, whether it's going to be Riyadh, Dammam or Dubai, Abu Dhabi. That rat race is going on. They're constructing glass facades and they are worst off. They have so much of sunlight, they should be actually completely closing it off, but they are opening it all glass facade buildings. तो ये मसला और कॉम्प्लिकेट होता जा रहा है. आई ओनली होप 2040 में किसी को अकल आए, ग्लास फसाड बिल्डिंग बनाना बंद करें. ऐसी बिल्डिंग कम से कम मकान ऐसे हों कि जहां पर आपको and this is such a contrast. On one side we are talking about ESG, or talking about carbon saving, and making glass facade buildings. Are we nuts? Who are we fooling? Whom are we fooling around with?
So what would you want to see in 2040?
He spoke about character. I would want the character of our buildings to come back. The buildings which were earlier, the brick and mortar, I would want brick and mortar. Real estate has to be brick and mortar. enough of steel and glass facade and aluminium, etc. We need to migrate to brick and mortar. But unfortunately, I don't see that change.
So vertical is okay.
Look, verticality we're talking about density. Let's talk about density because that's the other name for verticality. Density is because of the nature of the land where you are. You obviously are not going to have vertical development he spoke about in Lonavala. You will not, because the density of Lonavala will continue to remain very, very relaxed. In Mumbai, now this is where again aping. Why is Gurgaon coming up with high rises? I have no idea. No reason. In Mumbai, at least, एक बिल्डिंग 40 माले की थी, उससे अगली वाली ने 50 की बनाया ताकि कम से कम उसके ऊपर के 10 माले को सी दिखे, उसके पीछे वाला 70 की बना रहा है कि उसके ऊपर के 20 माले को सी दिखे, तो सी तो है। गुड़गांव में वो भी नहीं है, वो कोई हिल व्यू ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि जिसके कारण आपको हाई राइज जाना है, बस एपिंग। प्रॉब्लम विद रियल एस्टेट इज वी आर सो बैंकरप्ट ऑफ आइडियाज, वी एंड अप, एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द होल रियल एस्टेट fraternity development.
You should have a conversation with my previous guest, Mr. Mistry. Mr.
I know him. I would love to.
He also had some really brilliant ideas on this.
Let's do a session on that. The problem is that future, unfortunately, and this may sound like science fiction movies that we saw when we were growing up, but the future is heading towards that. Now, digital is a boon. It's a good thing that we are entering into a digital culture, but real estate is sucking. It's pathetic. I doubt if I would be able to stand the kind of change that we're going to see soon.
Okay. Do you believe that we are heading towards real estate becoming more regulated, more tech driven? What would be your preference for real estate's future when it comes to regulation and tech?
As I said, forget about the country for a second. The citizens of this country which make the country are very, very tech. We run tech. चाहे वो सिलिकॉन वैली हो या अपना देश हो, राइट? सो टेक तो है ही, एंड विद नाउ एआई कमिंग इन, विद एवरीबडी बिकमिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन विद जीपीटी, तो उसको छोड़ देते हैं. सो इट विल टच एवरी सेक्टर एंड रियल एस्टेट विल नॉट बी एन एक्सेप्शन. बट कमिंग टू रेगुलेशन, इट्स अ वेरी हाईली अब्यूज्ड वर्ड इन इंडिया, क्योंकि बहुत सारी चीजें रेगुलेटेड रहती हैं, दे आर नॉट नेसेसरीली रेगुलेटेड वेल. बट आई जेन्युइनली बिलीव दैट रियल एस्टेट शुड बी रेगुलेटेड, क्योंकि वो जो एवरेज हिंदुस्तानी जब एक ही घर खरीदता है जिंदगी में, तो उसको प्रोटेक्शन चाहिए फ्रॉम सम शार्क्स, इफ आई मे से सो, राइट? सो वी शुड बी रेगुलेटेड. आई जस्ट होप द रेगुलेशन इज मोर यूनिफॉर्म, एंड आई रेफर टू रेरा इफ यू मे अलाउ सो. RERA is the way it is implemented in Maharashtra is not the way it is implemented in the rest of the country. And I would, one of my biggest grudge or request, or जो भी word आपको use करना है कर लो, with the government is please implement RERA uniformly across the country. बहुत आसान है बोलना, because we are United States or un-United States of India. Might not happen, but that would something I would love to see, because that will at least allow some protection to the consumer. Yeah, so I think we should be regulated for sure.
You said about blockchain. Do you think blockchain is even possible in our country? Is that possible?
Well,
in real estate.
अगर गवर्नमेंट का चला तो पॉसिबल नहीं है. RBI said no way, they've put a massive spanner in the wheel, right? But then Digi Yatra has happened, Digi Locker has happened, so it can happen.
What is this spanner that you're talking about in real estate?
They're not allowing no blockchain for real estate. But then my point is कि अच्छा चलो मैं बोलता हूँ कि 10 साल बाद they change their mind. So, but then we are ready for it, because blockchain का पहला CD is transparent IGR data. तो वो तो आ गया हिंदुस्तान में. Why am I saying proudly as an Indian, forget about CRE metrics for a second, right? Is because we have clients in foreign nations who subscribe to data. Basically हमारे देश में नहीं है, इंडिया में. We are so happy about it. Case in point, Japan and Singapore. They do not have the same, and they're much smaller than India, if I may. We can all agree on that. They're super happy that India has that data and Singapore and Japan doesn't. Even Australia for that matter. to the same extent that we have covered it. We as a country, forget about CR. So yeah, blockchain is अभी तो नहीं हो रहा है क्योंकि there's a spanner from the government. But अगर हो गया, we'll do it. We can do it first because we are a very digital, very tech nation, especially the next generation.
How about you, sir? Tech driven, more regulated, or both? Is that what we are heading towards?
I would love to see it more regulated. I would love to. It is not. RERA, with its mixed bag of success, has a long way to go. And I don't know why are we even considering regulation or no regulation. It's the name of the game. You have to regulate it. It's regulated everywhere. So why India should be any different? I know there initially have been lots of those reservations about RERA. Developer lobbies were, pushing for self-regulation. Zindagi bhar nahi kiya, abhi kya karne wale ho? Anyway, RERA was a required, it was a must, and it has come. But it is still, again, we have a federal structure. As Abhishek mentioned, different states have different ways of managing RERA. Few RERAs are better than the others. But still, none of these RERAs have reached that level where we would be happy that now they're delivering 100%. I would say they're not even 50% of what their target was. Appellate tribunals, decisions, implementation of a decision of RERA is the biggest problem. Getting police support to implement or the environment to help you get your resolution that RERA has already adjudged in your favor cannot still happen so easily. And what was said and done? You are fighting against a much more mightier developer who has legal might, who has financial might, who has everything with him, and you as a simple single buyer have all the stakes against you. So here the problem of regulation is that while we want to believe that we are regulated, but I don't want to agree to it, we have a long way to go. We have to be much more regulated than what we are right now. And why? Let's not even go into why. It's so simple here because the buyer needs to have justice. Buyer needs to get what. आज तक के आपके पास a standard buyer builder agreement नहीं बना है. आज भी agreements are hugely favored in the favor of the developer. आज तक हमारी कंट्री में ऐसा जो बैलेंस अग्रीमेंट है वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ है. So we have a long way to go. And if your question is how do I see it in times to come, I imagine, I fantasize about hugely regulated real estate. And I'm using the word fantasize because I'm not so hopeful that it'll happen that way soon.
Okay.
But एक second, the point that he made about the builder-buyer agreement, how many clients, if I'm allowed to...
हाँ हो है सर राउंड टेबल है सर राउंड टेबल है गोल घूमता है
पहले नहीं बोला ये
अभी भी बोल सकते हो.
So, when you do so many deals, how many customers of yours actually read the builder's agree of 100 pages? If it's a primary transaction.
Very few. Very few.
भी है.
Very few. So as a agency, I run through the agreements. पहले तो मालूम पड़ता है मेरे को. This happens usually in the. देखो, I'll tell you, most of my clients are all in the upper class. They're luxury, ultra HNIs and HNIs. So apartments that they're buying are anywhere between 7, 8, 9, 10 above crores. They already have their own solicitors. Even if it's a primary market, they always take that and be like, I have a chartered accountant, I have a lawyer within either the family, or they already have an existing set. If it's a corporate client, then corporate client will probably have a legal department which has their own system, so they run it by them. So that happens a lot of times with my set of clients. Now, if there is someone who's buying a resale property, they by default think that it is the purview of the real estate agent to vet the agreement.
नहीं, agreed. मैं सिर्फ primary की बात कर रहा हूँ. And you said few first.
Few do.
And then you said that your clients are the HNIs.
Yeah.
Which means they have a battery of lawyers and options to get it vetted. फिर भी you said few.
Because I don't know I know for sure that few of them actually get it vetted by their own developers because they by their own lawyers because they come to me with queries कि Ravi, is this natural?
आज तक डेवलपर ने चेंज किया है,
थोड़े गिने चुने हैं.
ठीक है,
हाँ.
which is why there's no point reading it. My co-founder bought an apartment with one of the number one developer of Bombay, and I asked him, तूने पढ़ा 100 पेज का डॉक्यूमेंट? बोला पढ़ के फायदा क्या है, जब कुछ चेंज होने वाला ही नहीं है. I just signed it. I'll just rest our case about regulation.
वो होता है. But draft as a draft agreement कहाँ से?
No draft. यही है, पढ़ना है तो पढ़ो.
नहीं, बट वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ड्राफ्ट अग्रीमेंट जो होता है, जो बोल रहे हैं कि एक स्टैंडर्ड अग्रीमेंट होना चाहिए, वो स्टैंडर्ड कैसे हो सकता है? हमारा रियल एस्टेट ही स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है.
नहीं हो सकता ना, नहीं तो फिर वो lawyers would have not been making the maximum money, lawyers and doctors.
See, the issue is that, and I don't know whether it is good or bad. Again, the federal structure has to be blamed for it because housing is a state subject. Every state decides what rules and regulations. Like even the RERA, we know West Bengal, dragged their heels for almost about 3-4 years before it was forcefully pushed on them to implement RERA. They were calling something called as HERA, VERA, God knows what. But at least they fell in line. The problem is the federal structure. And while it's a government, central government, MOVA, the Ministry of Urban Housing, etc., they need to create this standard builder-buyer agreement. What are the most important things we're talking about? It has to be equally favored, equally balanced in both their sides. For example, if I delay my payment, I pay 24%. And if the developer is dealing, he pays at 12% or less. So that is something which is everywhere accepted. And we can't, not all of us can go to court and push our way through, okay, mera 24 to uska bhi 24, etc. Then you go to RERA, and that too, if there is some problem with possession, typically people go to RERA if possession is delayed. Possession delay नहीं हुआ, दे दिया टाइम पे, तो यार कोई चीज़ टेढ़ी भी हो तो मैं सीधी करवा लूँगा, ये प्लास्टर लाइन ढोरी नहीं है तो ठीक है यार चलेगा. अब कौन दोबारा उसके पंगे लगे और 6 महीना लेट करेगा. So you reach a stage where you want to take whatever is on your platter. And then, as he said, we don't even get into क्या लिखा हुआ है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में, जो है वो चलता है. जब डिले हो जाता है और वो फ्रस्ट्रेट होकर रेरा पहुंचता है, तब ये सारी चीज़ें खुलती हैं. Otherwise, even, I don't know if you are aware, since he's talking about big data, do you know how big is the RERA data? I'll give you some sense of it. Right now, Mumbai mein alone, only in Mumbai, some 17,000 buildings are under development. अब वो हर बिल्डिंग का आपको हर क्वार्टर में डेटा अपलोड करना है बिल्डर को.
सेल्स डेटा,
ऑल काइंड ऑफ डेटा, फाइनेंसेस, प्रोग्रेस, सेल्स, एवरीथिंग, सब अपलोड करना है. नाउ कैन यू इमेजिन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मैन पावर इज नीडेड टू रीड? यू आर सेइंग आप 100 पेज का डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं पढ़ते हो, ये तो ये कम से कम 100 पेज एवरी क्वार्टर अपलोड कर रहा है. किसको पता है ब्लैंक पेज अपलोड कर रहा है या कुछ लिखा हुआ उन पेजेस पे? That document is opened only when somebody complains.
एक केस हुआ था, आई डोंट नो हाउ लॉन्ग बैक बट रिसेंटली हुआ था. एक डेवलपर ने अप्रूवल्स, जो IOD और ये सब जो BMC से अप्रूवल्स आता है, वो उठा के उसने फोर्ज करके अपलोड कर दिया. किसी को पता ही नहीं, मालूम ही नहीं था कि ये कि कहाँ से आया, किधर से आया. बाद में जब फाइल खुला, जब किसी ने कंप्लेन किया, तब जाके मालूम पड़ा कि ये सब तो गलत था, कभी BMC ने अप्रूवल ही नहीं दिया. That's when they came up with the system that the BMC, the Mumbai municipality and MHARERA should have some kind of a communication between the two of them.
Not possible. Communication करके भी क्या उखाड़ लोगे? Can you understand the extent of data that is being generated every quarter? Mind blowing. You can't even think about it. इतना, and this is only Mumbai. I'm talking about only the BMC, MCGM. आप MMR करो और बड़ा. You have 6 ULBs, urban local bodies in MMR. We're talking only 1, MCGM. अब अगर आप उसका एक्सपांस पूरी कंट्री में देखते चलो, you're gone. You can't even imagine कितना डेटा है वो.
तो फिर फेडरल लेवल से आएगा कैसे?
अब यहाँ पर आती है बात ब्लॉकचेन की. Solution is not MCGM and RERA talking to each other. Solution is in blockchain. तो वो जो अप्रूवल है, अगर वो ब्लॉकचेन पे स्टैम्प्ड होता तो आपको कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी. जैसे ही उसने अपलोड किया, हाँ या ना, रेड फ्लैग खड़ा हो गया कि ये गलत अपलोड किया है. अभी आपको मैन्युअली सारे डॉक्यूमेंट लुक ओके आई डू आल्सो डू लॉट ऑफ डेटा माइनिंग एटसेट्रा रीडेवलपमेंट मुंबई का जो हॉट टॉपिक है आई I pulled out the data of last 6 years. You know, not even 700 societies have done the DA in last 7 years, development agreement. वो 700 डेवलपमेंट अग्रीमेंट को डाउनलोड तो मैंने कर लिया, अब उसको पढ़ेगा कौन? अगर मुझे अपना खुद का LLM बनाना है तो शायद पॉसिबल हो, कौन बनाता बैठेगा? PDF डॉक्यूमेंट है, कौन पढ़ने वाला है? मेरे पास तो टीम है, डिजायर है, रिक्वायरमेंट है, हिम्मत नहीं है। और ये तो सिर्फ 700 की बात कर रहा हूँ भाई, सिर्फ 700 डॉक्यूमेंट है। पूरे रीडेवलपमेंट के MCGM में 700 डॉक्यूमेंट हुए पिछले 6 साल में। ठीक है, उसका PDF निकालूंगा, मैंने कुछ 100 के आसपास डाउनलोड करके निकाले, कौन डेवलपर है, कौन सोसाइटी है, कितना दे रहा है, कितना परसेंट ये है, वो सारा डेटा है, लेकिन बाकी 600 करने की हिम्मत नहीं है। सो माई पॉइंट इज डेटा इतना है कि यू कांट इवन इमेजिन, माइंड बॉगलिंग डेटा है। पर जब तक ब्लॉकचेन नहीं है तब तक उस डेटा का कोई यूज नहीं है। और ब्लॉकचेन, आपका क्वेश्चन प्रीवियसली ये था अबाउट ब्लॉकचेन, इट इज डूएबल इफ यू हैव अ डिजायर, इफ यू हैव इंटेंट, what he's been talking about for through the course. We are so ahead in the curve on the digital front as a country. We can do it. आपको इंटेंट चाहिए, आपको डिजायर, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का इंक्लिनेशन। लुक, द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज लैंड का डेटा पहले ब्लॉकचेन में आना जरूरी है। और ये लैंड का डेटा किस किस के पास है? अभी कोई टिलर है, कोई पटेल है, कोई किसके पास है, 25 तो उसके ऊपर क्लेम्स है। उन सबको क्लियर करते करते फटके हाथ में आ जाएगी, लेकिन करना है, क्योंकि उसके बगैर आप ये कुछ नहीं कर सकते कि वहां से तो शुरू हो रही है बात। जब तक कि लैंड क्लियर नहीं है, व्हाट यू स्पोक अबाउट IODCC, इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ लैंड। लैंड पे अप्रूवल मिलता है ना IODCC का। जब आपका लैंड का ही अप्रूवल नहीं है, आपने जो ट्रांजेक्शन किया है वो 3 जनरेशन पहले इट वाज अ फ्लॉड वन, आपने लॉयर को पैसे खिलू के आपने कर दिया है वो पेपर वर्क, लेकिन वो पेपर वर्क इटसेल्फ इज फ्लॉड, उसके ऊपर IODCC का आप क्या ही कर लोगे? So, blockchain is a requirement, especially for real estate, and unless it is there, your rights are absolutely unsecured. RERA without RERA, no difference.
He's rude.
Who's rude? No, he's just blunt. There's a reason why it's called straight talk. It's literally straight talk. No bullshit, no nonsense.
See, my organization has second part is Frank.
Organization?
Name is Night Frank.
Knight Frank.
And well, during the day also we are Frank. A different matter.
Is there a future where buying a home becomes as seamless as buying a flight ticket? Or will it always remain emotional and messy? Is there a future?
We touched upon both these things, right? I think Indians are ready for it because they are so busy and they are so techy and everything. But I don't know whether the other stakeholders are ready for it, which could include a bank or a developer or a regulator or whoever it is. But if blockchain happens, तो ये कल हो जाएगा. If blockchain कल हो जाएगा.
सब वही आगे रुकता है, ब्लॉकचेन होने तो फिर सब हो जाएगा। ब्लॉकचेन के ऊपर बकवास बहुत करते हैं लोग यहाँ वहाँ प्लेटफॉर्म पे खड़े रह के, लेकिन इंटेंट नहीं है।
इंटेंट के बिना तो सर कुछ भी नहीं होता है।
So one second, let me try and elaborate this for everybody, right? TripAdvisor, have you been there? Booking.com, कभी किया है? वहाँ पे कुछ all the young people must have. How do you believe that वो जो photographs होटल की और रूम की जो उसमें डाली है would be correct? Do you have that belief?
There's a trust factor.
Right? For both?
Yeah.
Right. If I were to say कि blockchain हो गया इंडिया में and Ravi has put his apartment credentials, photographs, I'll have to trust you.
You trust the system.
That's what I'm talking about. So with the time stamping and the system, then I know कि Ravi will not upload something wrong. And now I know
The system will not allow Ravi to upload something wrong.
तो वो फोटोग्राफ सही है, वो जो पेंट दिखा रहा है मेरा वाला ग्रीन, वो ग्रीन ही है. And then I don't even have to come and meet you. I don't even have to come and do a site visit if required. It can happen. But बॉस ऐसा नहीं कि ग्लोबली ब्लॉकचेन हो चुका है. So we're not trying to beat down our country at all, like proud citizens of this country. But I'm telling you, I'll again repeat it. अगर कहीं हो सकता है from a citizen's perspective, यही country में हो सकता है. हमसे डिजिटल एंड टेक कोई नहीं है, बट यू नीड सम मोर स्टेक होल्डर्स टू गेट अलाइंड. वी आर अलाइंड.
I'm with him. I'm with him 100%. And again, he clarified it. Even digital blockchain, if it has to happen, it has to happen here. We are ready for it. Just the policymakers have to fall in line, and we are good to go. Blockchain is, we can sense it. It's around the problem.
Any final words from my esteemed guest before we wrap this up?
Final words for who? For all the listeners in general.
What do you want to tell you?
Listeners in general. Okay, I don't know. Let's try to summarize things which are genuinely believable of real estate. Retail rocks. Do not buy a house for investment. And अगर लोन लेके लिया तो सच्ची में मैं मारूंगा. It will not make money. You'll actually lose money. What else? If you do business in real estate, you don't have a unicorn in real estate, by the way. So India is desperate to get a unicorn in real estate. So please think of new ideas, how you can solve the problems of Indian real estate. Start a new startup company and do it not for valuations. Please do it for creating a legacy. Do it for कि बाबा 5 साल में हिमालयस पर रिटायर नहीं हो रहे हैं. We are here to make business. We are here to give jobs. We are here to create a legacy. I think ये 2-3 चीज करेंगे तो we'll be, as a country, will rock.
Thank you, sir. Ghulam Saab, Mr. Zia, what would you like to say?
I am very hopeful about our future. While we did use the words like science fiction and stuff like that, but we do see the big change coming. And while there are hundreds of obstacles or problems, but in my short lifespan, professional of 33 odd years, I have seen a lot of these obstacles going off. So I am confident we will see a new chapter in the history of Indian real estate, and I'm very hopeful blockchain will happen. The macros, like I also am dead against anybody buying a house as an investment. It doesn't make sense. There are better ways of making money, better returns, far better returns in other asset classes. So keep away from buying a housing unit for investment. Worst decision. And if you are adventurous and you're in Mumbai, then buy a jhopadi. I would still say so. And look, making money, there are better ways. As I said, real estate is a huge risk. If you want to take that risk, you're a punter. Wish you the best.
Gentlemen, this has been the kind of conversation we rarely get. It is honest, it is clear, and it is definitely without any fluff. So, if the audience is watching this and they're thinking of entering the real estate space as a buyer, a builder, investor, or just someone who wants to understand where the country is going, I think you should remember what you heard. What you heard here today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Gupta and Mr. Zia. I hope this has been enjoyable and fun for you all.
Yeah, super fun. And आजकल Marvel movies में after credits there are post credits. That's the fashion these days, right?
सर ये 2.5 घंटा चलेगा.
Wait, तो post credit
इसके बाद में सर कोई किसको कुछ नहीं देखने वाला, इधर तक पहुंचेंगे भी नहीं मालूम हम लोग को.
You can delete it if you want, but there's one thing you should keep in mind, and you should say this in every podcast of yours. RBI ने publish किया, मैंने नहीं publish किया. 11 trillion rupees is the Indian household wealth. You can go and search on Google, RBI sectors. 11 trillion rupees. अपना GDP कितना है? 4. Hindustanis collectively own 11 trillion rupees in wealth. 51% of that is real estate. We are in the right industry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.